What's going on, guys? Before today's video gets going, I want to give a shout out to Omaze for sponsoring today's video. And today I'm going to talk about how you can win a 2020 C8 Corvette by visiting omaze.com/Cleetus McFarland. Omaze has partnered with the UCLA Ronald Reagan Medical Center to give away a brand new 2020 C8 Corvette. This is the highest performance package you can get with the highest level interior package available. It's got the Z51 Brembo brakes, the Z51 exhaust, a 14 speaker Bose performance sound system, pretty much all of the great packages that are available with the C8 Corvette. And on top of that, guys, you get $20,000 cash included with your Corvette. And it gets even sweeter. They pay your taxes and shipping that go along with winning this C8. They're seriously a great car, so we're excited to announce that Omaze is giving one away. So all you have to do to enter is go to omaze.com/Cleetus McFarland, donate $10, but that money is also going to helping a charity because the UCLA Ronald Reagan Medical Center is using that money to expand their ambulance program, as well as mobile cardiac arrest and respiratory life-saving devices. But thank you to Omaze for sponsoring today's video. Let's get to the live action.
Hell yeah, brother. You're on the Cleetus McFarland YouTube channel.
Boys, the state auction is stacked. We are here to pick up some of our Crown Vics. Gosh dang, they got a lot of Chargers. The Crown Vics are starting to disappear at these state auctions. Wonder why. Well, Spence, there's only one way to do this. Oh, it's gonna scrape. Easy, brother. You're good, brother. You got it. All right, guys, got a pretty good haul on these ones. Bunch of nice cars, good tires. This one's got an American flag on the bumper. I'm pretty happy with these cars. So these will be used in our next race, which we are planning, which is insanely epic, but I really can't talk too much about the details yet. But, you know, drop ideas below if you want us to try and incorporate any certain idea into our next race. This is designed to be a little bit different than the Freedom 500, but a little bit more live action, if you know what I mean. So Spence and I got a load here and we're getting ready to take off. We're gonna go cruise around the auction, just see what's going through on Saturday, see what they got. So guys, I know there's V8s in some of these Chargers. Some of them are definitely V6s, but it could be cool to do the Freedom 500 with Police Interceptor Chargers. I just don't know if they'll make it, but there's definitely some good ones. We'd have to buy one and do 100 laps and then see if it could handle it. I mean, I knew a Crown Vic could do it. I don't know about a Charger. All right, guys, so we have some good news. We have some exciting news. Look at how clean Ruby is, for starters. Had her detailed up. And the cars have all made it back from race week clean. But here's a bonus item for you. James and I have decided that we loved race week so freaking much that we are entering Ruby into drag week, which is a more competitive version of race week. And it's in the Midwest this year.
Yeah, I think it's up like it starts in Ohio.
No, we started in Michigan, I think, and then maybe go to Ohio. We don't even know, but we've decided that we're going to join it. We got on the wait list. That doesn't mean we'll get a spot, but in the history of drag week, no one's ever been turned away if you show up the day of. But here's the tricky part. Drag week starts the day LS Fest ends. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to LS Fest, race Leroy, and then James has to be at drag week on the day that the competition exists at LS Fest. James will be registering Ruby in Michigan while I'm competing in Leroy in Kentucky. And then that night I'll be driving from Kentucky to Michigan to meet James, and we will be starting drag week in Ruby. So James will be driving, I'll be tuning, riding passenger, and we should be able to dial in. It's the same setup. It's called the Street Racer class, and we will be targeting that 850 mark with Ruby. Obviously, we know she was super competitive at race week with an 856 as her average. Well, the guy who won drag week last year had an 852 or something like that.
852 to 0 average.
852. So it's going to be super challenging, but that's what we're all about. So James and I are going to tag team drag week. We're going to run it together and give it our all. Just James and Cleet. I'll be filming, tuning, just working on the car, and James just has to get in, do his job driving. But she's not exactly ready for drag week yet.
She
so
needs
a couple things we're gonna have to change up.
Obviously,
yep.
We're gonna have to probably do. We had that brake line leak. Probably have to redo the entire front brake lines just so we know it's not going to be an issue.
The brake lines are just kind of ugly up there anyway.
Yeah, it's time for the trans to be freshened up.
Yep, and I talked to RPM Transmissions. The Power Glide and Leroy spare will be leaving on a pallet by the end of this week. to go to RPM to be serviced, because not only does Ruby's transmission have a couple issues with, like, if you try and bump it into the beams, it'll actually keep creeping out of the beams. And then it's just time to be serviced. We've got a lot of miles on it. Plus the differential has a bolt stripped out in one of the hubs. So a couple things that we just want to get fixed up, and RPM said they'd gladly do it. They were super pumped about how race week turned out. So, but then the other thing is we have to move the intercooler tank to up here somewhere. So we've got all this room where the battery was. We're gonna have to figure out something to have our intercooler tank pre-firewall, because that's one of the drag week rules, but that shouldn't be a huge deal.
Yeah, probably sink it up here in the nose somewhere, away from,
Oh yeah.
maybe underneath one of these headlights.
I hate having water in front of all the tires, but those are the rules. So guys, other than that, so happy with how Ruby performed on race week. You know, she really crushed it, and Leroy did too. So over here we have the GT500, all clean too. That goes back to the VMP guys this week. So on Leroy, we've got some plans coming up with him. We are going to be racing Blasphemy, Mike Finnegan, in a couple of weeks. So we have to get this thing apart and put a throwout bearing in it. Other than that, Leroy's pretty solid though.
Yeah.
No work to be done. We had a problem on race week with the belt coming off quite a bit, and that was an issue. But during normal driving, it doesn't come off. You just have to take it off for the pass. That's because our alternator bracket is misaligned, so we are going to change the alternator brackets on both cars to something that's a little more sturdy, so it doesn't fling the belt.
Ruby's was holding on there, but if it got above like 7,600 RPM and you chop the gas, like in the shutdown, if you didn't come off the gas slow and you just came off the gas like instant, it would throw the belt. But other than that, I mean really just
switch them up. The belts should stay on. So we're just gonna fix the issue so we can quit worrying about it. But I gotta say, I'm so happy with how Leroy performed too. And one of the things that I spent a lot of time thinking about and just talking to Brent while I was driving is this car is so good as it is as a bottom 8-second, high 7-second car. And everyone on YouTube saying, oh my gosh, why aren't you running 750s? It's like, guys, we go through a transmission in 3 passes if we run 7s. You know, I love the car so much when it's in this 8-second setup, and you know, if we want to run a 7 or 2, we can turn it up and freaking do it. But it's like chasing this 750 with Leroy is ruining Leroy. The fun of it just all gets sucked out of it when you're constantly braking and completely disassembling the car to put it back together. So
the thing about it too is the way these Corvette transmissions are designed, the parts that we need to fix it, they're not making anymore. So it's like, yeah, it might be, you know, $4,000 to fix it this time. Well, the next time you have to go to fix it could be $6,000, because every time you buy the main shaft or the gear stack, it's taking away from how many exist. So it just gets more and more expensive every time it breaks.
So I mean, it's just nice. He's super competitive in these fast stick shift classes, but going out and just pushing the car a 10th down every time we run it is just something that I think we've kind of decided we don't really want to chase anymore, because even in money aside, if we, you know, do more ads and stuff like that and pay for it, it just gets exhausting, and it takes the fun away from ripping this beautiful, amazing car when we're just destroying parts every single pass. So I don't know, that's something I've kind of come to terms with, is Leroy is a great bottom 8-second, high 7-second car, and that's where he should stay, I think. And this should become a mid 7-second car that can dominate out of World Cup.
Once the El Camino is done.
Yeah, and that's what the El Camino is for.
El Camino is, I mean, it's going to start probably high 7s and would all the way down to potentially, you know, a mid-high 6-second car.
I think you guys are going to see a transition here soon where Ruby passes Leroy and becomes a faster car, which is totally fine. And we continue to use Leroy for some fast stick shift racing, and we start to use Ruby for those faster street car classes that we're chasing. And then when the Elko is done, which we've got a video coming up on, that thing will be our nasty takedown anybody car that's, you know, hopefully we can run a 6-second pass in one day. So this was our first car to get us into the 8s, first car to get us into the 7s, and then we're going to use the Elko to push us further than that. But you know, it's something that I think a lot of people who drag race can understand, that a car gets to a point where, you know, it can ruin the fun by just going too hard. I don't want to put a freaking body on this thing. You know, everyone's like, oh, put a body on it. That's not Leroy.
Ruins Leroy.
That takes away the fun of Leroy. So really just enjoying him is the best part about it. We can probably refine it a little bit too and get some more speed out of it at this level, say if we're out competing and we need it. But other than that, we're not going to make any more major changes to Leroy for a little while. Who knows? That could change in a year from now. We say, hey, let's make this thing a 730 car.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you guys, for the rest of this season, you're going to see our boy Leroy chilling. Other than that, man, I mean, the car is good, ready to go for a race with Blasphemy. And then the GT500 is going in the trailer, and we are delivering it back to VMP Performance. I mean, we took really good care of it, so everything looks perfect. I asked them if they wanted to keep the Jokers and the VMP Performance sticker on it. They said yeah. And then there's actually some clear bra on the door because we were worried about if we're filming out the side of it, scratching it. Other than that, we're in really good shape on this thing. So excited. I'm sure they're excited to have her back. So I guess our next steps are we got to do a throwout bearing on this, get it ready to race Blasphemy, and we got to get that transmission out and on its way to get serviced. And then we got a supercharger in the mail for Toast. So time for Toast to go back together.
You pointed at the golf cart.
Yeah, the golf cart got a supercharger.
Really? Got a nitrous kit and a turbo.
All right, guys, don't forget that Omaze sponsored today's video, so visit omaze.com/Cleetus McFarland to enter. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Do it for Dale. We will freaking see you later.